House to Chief White House Correspondent John Roberts. 3 p.m., the world will be watching.
Yeah, and Harris, there's just so many moving parts to this story today, and so much has happened in just the past half hour. The president has said that he will have a press conference at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Fox News has been told that the president is likely to declare a national state of emergency or a national emergency under what's known as the Stafford Act of 1988. What this does is it unlocks FEMA disaster funds in the same way it would if there was a massive hurricane or a big earthquake or some other natural disaster here in the United States. So that will put into force the full weight of the funding of the federal government for disaster relief to do all kinds of things that the president may designate as a result of this. Now, in another story that seems to change back and forth, literally minute to minute, we were told just recently on America's Newsroom by Eduardo Bolsonaro, who is the son of the Brazilian president Jair Bolsonaro, that his father has tested negative for coronavirus. That was about an hour after Eduardo Bolsonaro had told Fox News his father, the president, had tested positive for coronavirus. So what the real status of that is, we don't know, but we do know that the president was in proximity to Bolsonaro for a number of hours on last Saturday night at Mar-a-Lago. So does that now have implications as to whether or not President Trump should get tested? And we found out in the last half hour that Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami, who was in close contact with Bolsonaro and his team over last weekend, has now himself tested positive for coronavirus. On the subject of testing, that remains a real problem here. More currently existing tests are going out. Some 4 million are supposed to be out there in the communities by the end of the week, maybe the end of the weekend. Also, Health and Human Services is giving more than $1 million to 2 companies that are developing rapid diagnostic tests for coronavirus. The 2 tests may be able to detect whether a person has the virus within an hour. The White House and Democrats still working to hammer out a financial package to help expand testing, also expand paid medical leave and unemployment insurance. But the White House is still pushing for a payroll tax cut, getting rid of that 12.4% employee and employer paid tax for Social Security until the end of the year. Here's what the Treasury Secretary, Steven Mnuchin, said about it earlier today.
The president's very interested in the payroll tax cut because it's a giant stimulus. We're working with Congress on that. If Congress wants to do the stimulus in a different format, we'll consider that. But the president wants to put money in the economy for hardworking Americans who are impacted by this.
Now, as to where we are overall in this crisis, Mnuchin said this morning we're in the second inning, that a lot more is going to be needed, including possible financial help of some sort for the airlines of the United States, which are being impacted so heavily by this. And really, Harris, that's only the beginning when you look at the overall trickle-down effect of what's happening in the economy from the coronavirus. And that's all just in the last hour.
I know. You know, I feel like we should come back to you every 5 seconds because you've had so much to bring us. You know what? Thank you for the great work as always, my friend.